You're tuned in to the one and only, the Strategized Network, TSN.
We gotta eat before we feel that hunger. Pains real. That's why we stay lit till the next summer. She's wonder why we stay lit till the next.
You're tuned in to the one, Strategized Network, TSN.
EJ's in the house.
Oh, what? What are you on?
I'm on the Hollywood Red Show.
That's right, buddy. Shout out to one of my little mini-me's. You already know what time it is. It's Friday night on the Strategized Network. It's Mr. Hollywood, a.k.a. Mr. A, and my partners. KT, what's good, brother?
What's going on, man? How's it going, man?
I see you, brother. I see you. What's the latest and greatest? You know,
oh man, it's just staying alive, brother. Ain't too much going on.
Yeah, man. And today's topics is gonna be revolving around Black America today, 2026.
Yes, sir.
Under the Trump administration, whether you like it, you don't, or you won't. And we got to keep trending with none other than my partner KT coming up in just a second.
What's going on, man? There's a lot of stuff been going on these last few weeks. We're gonna try to keep y'all up to speed. Some of the hottest things we're trending online and in the culture.
Then shout out to Deacon WEEZO.
Yes, sir, WEEZO. What up?
Yes, sir. Right back at you. You say where your super chat. I'm not sure, brother. You're gonna have to school me on that one. KT, what's a super chat?
It's like donations. People can support. They donate to your channel.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it. You know, you probably gotta get a little bit more people. You know what I mean. Yes, sir. It's a beautiful night, man. It's a beautiful night in the 941. Is it ready to get to it when you're ready, my brother?
Yes, sir. Let's get into it.
You're tuned in to the one and only, the Strategized Network, TSN.
Been trending with KT, with a pulse of the culture meets your daily download.
Yes, sir, man. It's keeping it trending with KT, man. And this is one of these segments we keep it big on what's culture relevant and just either politics or things, anything, man. Really, what's something to talk about that keeps us and the fans up to speed on what's going on in the climate. One of the fire hot things was going on in the culture is Ray J. So Ray J got into MMA / boxing match with Hwrs, and he got knocked clean out. He got knocked cleaned out in the fight, and now things are getting tricky with him, because at the end of that fight, he got up and told the dude, his opponent, we just lost a lot of money. So now the fans are looking into it. I don't know if you have a clip to show that. If you will show the
yeah, let's run that clip.
Yeah, run that real quick, then we can tap.
It looked kind of like stage, like he got hit. Like, I don't know, the response time just took a little too long. I don't know what's up with that.
He got hit. He's out of his mind. Yeah, that wasn't no stage. He didn't know what was going on. He was in the climax. He was out of here, boy. He fell into the punch too. But a little quick backstory to this fight. The first round, the dude was super hot fight and didn't even hit him.
His forehead, man, he got a big old lump on his forehead.
That ain't no stage. He's up to YouTube. Then you try to tell him, look, you messed up a lot of money.
But you were saying that there's like some more deeper stuff going on with this.
Yeah, I guess they're trying to say that he betted.
I guess in relation to the sports gambling, something of that nature.
Yeah, basically, he put money on himself. I guess him and his opponent allegedly agreed on the fixed fight. But I guess the second round, the dude just knocked him clean. That's why at the end of this race, they say, man, you just lost us a lot of money.
And so who did he say that to?
To the dude right there, the light-skinned brother. He said it on the mic. Right at the end. You might catch it. You might catch it at the end, but he said that. So now,
Ray J, you got a good ass haircut too, though, bro.
So now Ray J,
so come here, right beside. Is you good?
So now Ray J in the hospital now.
Hell no. What the?
So now he's in the hospital. They say he tried to act like he. There you go.
Yeah, excuse the language.
You talked all that tough shit. Yeah, hold on, don't talk.
Yeah. We can do without the commentary. The point of it was to see that Ray J had got socked upside his head. But yeah, so what is the implications? What happened with the gambling side?
I don't know. The feds investigating now, so Vegas involved now. So guess he's trying to play sick, but that ain't gonna stop them from coming pick him up out that hospital if he don't die. So
what would they be charging him with?
Trying to rig a fight. That's against the law.
But did it actually happen, or was it just?
I guess it's just the point that you tried to do it. It just didn't work out in his favor. He probably had a lot of people put money on him and thinking that the fight was going to go his way. So that's what it get tricky at. It's almost like inside trading. It just didn't work out.
Well, you know, Ray J, man, he been doing a lot of stuff compromising his character. Don't know him personally, but just the stuff that he's doing. And I do know that this guy is a father. So the type of shenanigans that he continues to find himself in, to me, is a desperation, a call for attention. And you know, a lot of people, they think that any press is better than none. So, you know, I don't live my life like that, so I don't really know what that's like. But he seems to be carrying himself that way. His sister's already distanced herself from him, saying that, you know, once he started going off about Shine and Mace reenacting their time that they was, dating his sister. You know, everything that he does, he likes to go way overboard. Even, you know, that's why I think he teams up with Orlando Brown a lot, because they seem to be cut from the same cloth.
Yes, sir. So that's one of the that's pretty much it with Ray J. It's a to be continue. Hopefully, he didn't put himself in a situation after facing jail time. They don't play about that when it comes to that trying to rig stuff. It gets real tricky with that. So not only that, so the next trending thing we're gonna go into is Miss Bryant, Cheyenne Bryant. She's been a hot topic.
Oh, we going straight to her, huh? Okay.
Yeah, it's just trending, man. It's too hot to keep back. It's probably something we get a lot. But she's been in the topic in trending a lot about her doctorate degree. Is she a doctor? Is she not? She tried to call herself running for the mayor. Is she the college she went to is not what it is, and then how she talked to a guy named Torre, she kind of tried to belittle him as a black man and try to call him soft and stuff like that. So I know you got some heavyweight about this.
Yeah, you already know we definitely got some receipts.
Let's go. Let's get it.
There's a lot of people head hunting for her right now. She done made a bed that she finna lay in physically.
Laying it.
You know, since she trying to sell sex. To me, that's the only thing that's keeping her relevant. And even Ray Daniels had a good interview. I'm gonna try to pull that up, where he basically was, you know, saying that even though that he doesn't agree with all of her credentials, that, you know, that her attitude was what was the selling factor for him, and that was the reason why he was still trying to be on her side. But yeah, we got a couple clips here. This first one is going to be actually one of Bryant's classmates, who went to Argosy University with her, and but yet she acquired her degree, and she goes in depth about, you know, anybody who's even yourself. You know, we know about school loans and how they're taken out, and how to get your transcripts and all of those things, and just a lot of what she's been saying doesn't really add up for people who are thinkers. It just sound like just a bunch of smoke and mirrors. But yeah, this lady, she's basically pulling out receipts that she went to school with Miss supposed Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. So let's hear what she got to say.
Let's get it.
It's accreditation. So yes, she still can get it. She just lied. Now what I can say again,
excuse her language,
is she did go to school, because I went with her. We were in a couple of classes together. Hey y'all, my name is Shawanda. Last name Kungeve, but most people call me Dr. K. And I went to school with Cheyenne Bryant, the very same school she got her degree from. Hold on. See that? Argosy University. See that? Argosy University. Same year. Right there. Yeah. We went to school. She was already calling herself doctor. We got into an argument about it one time, because the dialogue we were having in class was, do we call ourselves doctor even though we weren't completed with school? And she said she paid so that she could be a doctor. And I said, being called doctor isn't that damn important. Hey y'all, my name is Shawanda. There's no difference than anything else. What's important is the work we do. But we got into a very heated argument about it. And our instructor said, you cannot say that you're a doctor if you haven't completed your dissertation and done with school. Period. But me and Cheyenne used to get in a lot of arguments about shit. And one of the things that she said she wanted to do was she wanted to be the next Ayanna Van Zandt.
Now, because I already know what the clip entails, she puts a little bit more receipts on basically that they attended classes together. So the relevance is that she's a character witness for Cheyenne Bryant, saying that she indeed was in the classes to pursuing her doctorate, but I mean that does not validate whether or not she received a doctorate. So she just kind of elaborates in that, and I think is relevant. She does get very wordy with language that I don't prefer to try to replay. So I'm gonna use that one just to where it's at. There's a second clip, and I'm not sure if this one is where it shows another character assassination, so to speak, because credentials matter. You know, my point that I'm making out of this is credentials matter, and so now she's been on record to fabricating a resume that's not real, because now we've gotten news that she tried to portray that she was that she was running for mayor of LA. I believe that this is the second clip here, so let's check that one out.
Two black people running. Because I did this with Los Angeles, I was running for LA mayor, and then I seen our mayor, Karen Bass, come in as a candidate, and she was running against a white male, a Republican, and it was neck to neck. And I knew that had I stayed in the race, neither one of us would have ran, because two black people will split the vote. Yeah. So what I'm saying, right, Mark? So what I'm saying is, I pulled out so that Karen could win. Right. And she barely won, like Mark is saying, I'm talking about by a needle. Had I even took 200 of her votes, then she wouldn't have won. So I think that Cornell needs to pull back if we want Kamala to win, because he's going to take her votes. He's still black. So
12. That's how many people actually qualified for the 2022 LA mayoral ballot. 27 filed paperwork to even try to run, and Ms. Cheyenne Bryant was not one of them. I'm Tanya McKenzie, chair of the LA County Commissioner on Alcohol and Other Drugs, and I keep getting asked if Ms. Cheyenne Bryant ran for mayor of LA. And the answer is no. She campaigned, but there's a difference. Let me explain. There was a website, it's actually still up. There was a banner. There was a Dr. Cheyenne Bryant for LA Mayor 2022 branding. There was some community events, photo ops, the whole production. What there wasn't was a nomination papers filed. There was no candidate statement filed. There was nothing sent to the LA city clerk. So there's that. Her name never hit a ballot. She never made a qualified candidates list. She never showed up on Ballotopia, Wikipedia, or the LA Times Roundup. None of those things happened. But the website is still up. You can go check it out. It still says for LA Mayor 2022. It still reads like a campaign is in progress 3 years later. And that right there is why people are in my DMs asking me if she actually ran for mayor. Because in 2026, a Canva graphic and a confident caption will rewrite history. People don't fact check things. They just screenshot and keep it pushing. So let me be clear with all of you. Announcing a run, building a site, and showing up at a community event is marketing. Filing with the city clerk is running. One is a brand and the other is a ballot. Know the difference.
Oh my God.
There goes character assassination number 2. And shout out to my dog Forever that just tapped in. What's going on, brother? Forever, what's the good word, homie?
Wood, what's going on, baby?
What up, bro?
Hey.
What up? Long time no see.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, he's shining. Oh, wow.
I can barely hear you though. Your teeth are talking louder than your voice, brother, because you're shining over there. So I prefer that you turn the volume up on them teeth, brother. What's good, my brother? It's good to see you.
How y'all doing, man?
Yes, sir.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to adjust that volume, brother. I don't know what's going on. I can barely hear you.
Is it me?
But yeah, we got my dog forever in the house. We got. I don't know if you've been keeping up so far, but we talking about Dr. Cheyenne or supposed Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. You got something you want to weigh in on before we go into the last clip?
Nah, I just tapped in, so I stick around. I'm here more. I ain't gonna really time in.
Bet. Well, we going into that third clip of the character assassination of this Miss Dr. Bryant. Let's go into the third clip.
Obedience to God, not to people. And so as long as I'm in his will and I'm serving and I'm doing his word, my sheep will know my voice. Even the sheep in wolf clothing. That is not my battle.
Well,
that's
with the
his.
questions that are out there, why not provide the proof of your degree? Why not?
Well, a couple of things, right? I have multiple degrees. And my thing is that my proof isn't something that I have to prove to individuals. My proof is already within my credentials, my degrees, and also more than just my titles, it's in how effective I've been. All of my sessions have been live for the most part. My sessions with Nick Cannon, Cam Newton, Shannon Sharp, B. Simone, they have all been for the world to see, right? So no one knew who Dr. Bryant was prior to seeing all of my sessions that were live. And they deemed it, as well as I did before they did it, they can't validate me, I validated myself, they deemed it as my work being effective. I've earned the title, I have multiple degrees, and I'm not going to prove anything to anybody. I'll be effective at what I do. I'm educated and I'm successful in my lane, and I'll land on this, I created my own lane. And so a lot of times, Marissa, when people see that you created something that maybe they couldn't, admiration turns into envy. And you got to be okay. And you got to be okay with that in that
as an attack. But I think, and I've gotten this question from many viewers, and I owe it to them.
You
in
do.
Service to
Absolutely.
them. Why not drop doctor from your name if you cannot bring forth the doctoral degree?
So I've already covered this, right? And we're here obviously to talk about my new book. So I've earned the title. I have multiple degrees, and I'm not going to prove anything to anybody. And we're going to leave it just as that. Yeah.
Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
Baby, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant.
And that's where, and you're standing by that.
Standing by it. Yeah, because I earned it. Absolutely. Effective at what I.
Conversation about your doctorate because people can't find your dissertation online. How are you responding to that in this new era of your life?
I'm going to clear it up once on here. I'm not doing it again. And I'm clearing it up for my doc squad, for my fan base, for my audience who deserve to hear me address it. For the folks who have already made up their mind to not like me or not understand me, listen, I don't give what your narrative is. I would like for you to recreate it, double down on it, and run that.
Ouch. Unfortunately, none of that was very convincing. KT, what you think about it, brother?
You know, like I say, we know in the black community, man, a lot. I really don't have a problem with her calling herself a doctor, man. Y'all let Dr. Malachi York call himself a doctor. He ran the whole coast. You got Dr. Umar. He ain't getting no flack. School still ain't built. You had Dr.
Umar. What you mean, Dr. Umar don't get no flack? Yes, he do. Heck, half of the time, Deacon WEEZO was one of his biggest counterparts. Shout out to Deke. He said hit the like button and share the video. Yes, sir. But
hold on, man.
He don't get no flack, especially since he was because he bit off more than he can chew. He kept claiming he gonna build that school. Deke even made a little parody about it. So I know it's plenty of others that was on that timing. So let's not act like he didn't get the heat too, man.
Hold on. Y'all got Dr. Oprah. Y'all forgot Oprah's called herself a doctor. She ain't no doctor.
So I ain't never heard Oprah call herself no doctor.
Yeah, you don't remember that? That's what she used to go by. It's still Dr. Oprah for years.
No, I don't remember that.
Wow. I do the research, buddy. Yeah, I do the research. Yeah, I ain't just making that up. This is a fact.
You're gonna have to bring a receipt on that, brother, because I don't remember nothing about that. But credentials matter, man. Credentials matter. I've taken my time to get to make sure that I show myself approved by having my degree. I went to school and got that.
Nurse doctor, man. She's like a life coach. That's what she going by. She's like more like a life coach, right? I don't see nothing wrong with it. Now that I see all them clips, I respect it.
Forever, what you got, brother?
Most of them be life coaches, man. They don't be real doctors. They don't be real doctors.
Yep. They got that one black dude who talk about fast and drink water and eat grapes all day. He ain't no doctor and people listen to him.
I learned most of these characters, man, and I call them characters with no disrespect. But most of these characters, just like the Brian lady, she don't want to show her proof that she's a doctor yet. Because anybody can say that doctor. If you feel like, just how you said, somebody feel like they know something that's good for the body, the first thing they start saying is they're a doctor. If they know something that's good for the mind, the first thing they start saying is they're a doctor. If they're able to communicate to you on some type of level, the first thing they throw out is they're a doctor. So it's like, if everybody a doctor, you got to show some type of proof that you're a doctor. You can't just throw that word that we're a doctor around. Anybody could be a doctor at this point. You can't do that. Being a doctor, having a doctor degree is a privilege. Come on now. Everybody
big facts.
Everybody ain't got that. So for her to say that she don't even want to show it, you ain't got it, sister. Because anybody at that point of their life, they want to show that off, bro.
Big facts.
They'll put that around their neck. That's the first thing they gonna throw at you. I got my doctor's degree, here you go. So if you can't show it, you ain't got it, brother. That's all I can do. You ain't got it.
Couldn't agree better.
But y'all let Dr. Phil call himself a doctor. He ain't getting no flack.
Dr. Phil never prescribed me nothing. So that's all that matters. He called himself what he want. I ain't never called him no Dr. Phil.
Nothing either. Hold on, man. She ain't prescribing you nothing either. Cut it out. Cut it out, man. I got one thing. I got one rebuttal. I get what y'all point is though. She's trying to defend it instead of just accepting it and be like, you know what? I just think of more like a life coach. She don't want to admit that she ain't got the paperwork. That's gonna mess her bag up. She's making a bag right now.
Yeah, I can't hate on the fact that whoever is the idiot that's paying her is, hey, that's what's up. I'm not going to knock you for being able to make the bag. That's not the point of my argument. The point is for us people that do think, for us people that have accomplished something, it's detrimental to have somebody like her to have a mouthpiece that's speaking for us at large, us as a black culture. It's even dangerous for my women folks out there. Shout out to my baby, because my baby, she got her doctorate. So I got to put some respect on that, because my woman got hers out there. We don't need to put all the name out there for the credentials, but best believe I can show some receipts. So I don't know nothing about that other stuff going on, but nonetheless, you got to stand on business. What you got, forever?
Not to cut you off, Hollywood, but I also feel like, you know how everything's going right now. She might not want to get into deep with it. Like you said, it's fraud. So you know that comes with it. Come with lawsuit. All the people find out you ain't got that degree for real. Come on, man. As much money as you done made, you gonna lose. So the best thing you can do is not even show proof of nothing. I would do the same thing. I say I ain't got it. I ain't showing y'all. If you trust me this far, you're gonna keep trusting me. I'm your doctor. All right. Because if I show you anything that don't say doctor on it, I done lost all credibility. You know that. I lost. So we gonna watch.
That's facts.
What you got, KT? Before we finish stretching this out.
Oh no, man! Like I said, man. Hey, let her get her bag, man. If people are foolish enough to believe in it, that's on them. Like we know what's going on, but she get a pass from her last video. She do get a pass. I let her be a doctor.
Son, what you got? What you got to say, big guy?
It's EJ in the Hollywood Red Show.
There we go. You already know it.
That's crazy.
But what have we already went across? So we talked about Ray J. We talked about Dr. Bryant. Now we got to get into the NBA playoffs. OKC versus San Antonio.
San Antonio, let's go.
What you say, Forever?
We watching rigness at a third degree, man.
I love it.
If anybody say the sports ain't rigged, man, you're watching it. Put on binoculars.
I love it, brother.
Come on, man. Las Vegas, take your foot out of sport. Give us a chance to see greatness from. They don't even. It's so much about the money, man. It ain't even, man. Sports done went down here, man. I hate to say it, man. These cats, man. It ain't even about it. It ain't even about people showing off how great they is no more, man. Like it's sad, man. But you know, at least he was able to see some of the cats like Michael Jordan and you know, and LeBron James when he was real focused. Now he ain't really focused. He focused on his family, you know. You know, it's cool to say that. You know, everybody care about their family to a certain extent. You know what I mean? But sports done got rigged, man.
Yeah, you got too much money in it. Too much money involved now.
Too much money, man. Like when they came out with the Shazier and the Chauncey Billups, and man, I was blown. Hey, man, listen, I be betting money on these cats, man. And sometimes when you see stuff go wrong, you really don't want to jump to the conclusion, but when they slap you in the face with it, it's like, man, y'all got it, man. All you can do is watch it like a movie at this point. You can watch it like a TV series. You don't know what's going to happen, but you're so interested in sport, so you just want to watch it, man. Bring football back, man. At least I can watch some, and I don't know if they lying to me or not when I watch football. Basketball, you can tell these people lying to me. It's like, come on, man. Come on, man. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know. You know, I don't know. NBA has become a fluke, man. So at this point, like I said, at this point we can just watch these cats. Like some of these cats, I can say that they still take the game serious. Like a Wembenyama. You know what I'm saying? They still young. But when these cats get a little bit of age, a little bit of too much, man, it's over with, man. It ain't even about the sport no more at this point. It's in the air. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I feel about sports right now. Even the NBA finals, I can't really call it, man. I don't know what to say, man.
Yep.
But you're not saying that you're not looking forward to it. You're just saying at this point you don't know how to call it.
Listen, I'm a foot. I can speak. I'm not gonna really speak to y'all, but I can speak to y'all football fanatic. This basketball, we love basketball. Man, they could plug it for a while just to shake these guys up. We could do without it. We could do without basketball. Come on, man. A bunch of dudes running down the court every time they get touched, they screaming. A bunch of dudes that when we come in to watch them thinking they gonna play tonight, they're not playing. What are we doing? What are we doing? That's why I say it's like a TV series, man. You don't know what you're gonna get. The NBA Finals tomorrow, correct? You don't know what we're gonna get. The Spurs just blew out the defending champions, correct? SGA has only scored 30 points one time in series, correct? Okay, so moving forward, what we think gonna happen in a projected mind state, somebody will say, OKC don't beat the Spurs. or should beat the Spurs, or is projected to beat the Spurs. But if the San Antonio Spurs pull an upset, what can anybody say? It's been going home to home, back and forth, and that's vice versa. If OKC pull it out at home, we gonna say they've been winning at home the whole season, so nobody can't say that. So it's like that's why I say it's so much of a power move, even with the game 7. Because then after they play this, they still got to go and play the New York Knicks, who've been resting for I don't know how long. And then just think about it. If whoever win game 7, go ahead and let's just throw it out there, right? Let's just throw a Hail Mary. The team that win game 7, whether it's OKC or Wembanyama, the San Antonio Spurs, they go ahead and play the New York Knicks and go ahead and sweep the Knicks. What can we say? What can we say? Or even
is that the prediction? Is that your prediction forever?
Sweep whoever is projected to play them because they're gonna be so tired. Let's just throw that out. Okay, they're gonna be that's already fatigued in play. Okay, so if we give Las Vegas their credit for saying, okay, the New York Knicks is now projected to win the NBA Finals because they're the most rested team. It's a TV series.
Yeah.
It's a soap opera. We don't know. That's why I'm ready for football, man. That's all I got to say, man. I'm ready for football. I wish they would do some of this in-tournament season that they do for the. They need to stretch the NBA. Why they don't stretch the NFL out like that, man?
Yeah.
Stretch the NFL out, bro. Give us a little bit more.
That's true.
When the NBA come on, bro, I feel like the NBA be on so long, it don't even make sense.
That's true.
They compete for 2 championship trophies. Which one of them matters? I'm gonna leave it on
that note. So what predictions do we got here? I done pulled up the stats here on Wemby, and just going to show just what he's done over the course of the playoffs. Being that San Antonio won it last night. Last night he pulled up 28 points, and you know the problem I've had with him is just that when the Thunder has really cracked down on defense, he's cracked. He hadn't been able to show up in ways that I would thought he has. So that's making me doubt whether or not that they're going to be able to pull it out. I think with it being at home, with the OKC having the game 7 at home, I really doubt that San Antonio got the ability to be fresh all them 7 games.
Hey, Wood, exactly. Look, you got the stats up, right? I'm gonna show you something right now that's gonna blow your mind. The bookie, the Las Vegas spread yesterday for Wendy for points was 28.5. Look how many points you just said he scored.
Yeah, facts. He scored 28.
Exactly. And they took him out with They took him out with more than enough time to score that extra point. Ain't God good?
That's crazy. Yeah, they do that. Yeah, they always do that with that sports scandal. Yeah.
How much money that bookie took?
You know,
how much money you gave to the bookie forever?
I didn't bet on them. I seen the guy. I'm in a group. I can send it to you guys later. But I'm in a handicap group. It's for bettors. And it's a paid group. And the guy called that betting out yesterday. He called it out. It was a paid bet. He said, take Wembanyama under 28.5. And everybody said that's crazy because Wembanyama is going to go nuts. He's going to drop 30 or better. Anybody that said
that's what I thought
was not going to drop 30 points, today's a lot. Come on. Why wouldn't you? That's elimination game at home. Back against the rope. He's going for 30 points. So for him to drop 28 when his spread is 28.5. That's all I can say. You know, numbers don't lie.
Well, let me pivot to I know one of y'all brought up about the Knicks and the potential of what's going to be the outcome, because most of the analysts are even saying right now that the winner out of OKC and the Spurs, they already are handing over the championship to. I don't necessarily subscribe to that, but I do think that the Knicks will go as an underdog, no matter which one they play. Now I don't count them out, because as they call him, Big Body Brunson, he's doing some amazing things out there in New York. They even already putting him in a position that if he were to win that championship, that he would be the greatest Knick ever. And that's a strong statement, but it's arguable. So but I would like to see that. I would like to see, I would really like to see the Spurs play the Knicks. I'm not the biggest fan of watching OKC.
Me too. I say Spurs Knicks.
Whoever plays them, I don't think that Carl Anthony Towns has enough toughness to defend any big man that on either team.
Facts.
I don't think he's going to. I don't think he's going to lock down Chet, whatever his name is, homegrown or whatever. And I think Hardenstein will probably have his way with him. And if he play Wembanyama, I just don't see. I don't see his athletic kicking in against Wembanyama. Now the only urge they do have is the man Jalen himself. That's a bad dude. That's a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Bad guy.
So if I didn't ask already, let me circle around again. What's the predictions? Who you got? Who you got that's winning it all?
I got Knicks winning it all.
Whoever play against the Knicks, I like them to knock them off.
Yeah, I got New York winning the whole thing, no matter who they play.
Whoever play the Knicks, I like them to knock them off. The New York Knicks is known for choking. I'm gonna go with choking. I like Spike Lee to be on the sideline for him.
Though that I'm not an OKC fan, I see OKC winning Game 7 at home, and ultimately, if they win Game 7, I think that they're gonna win the best out of 6. If they play New York, and I don't see no sweep.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I said I see them crumpling. I don't.
Yeah, I got New York Knicks all the way, baby. I'm riding out New York.
I'd actually like to see the Knicks win. I mean, that's a valid statement. I like what's happening there. Even Cat, even with his very submissive big man role, he's getting stuff done. I mean, he's hitting it behind the 3-point line. I like the teamwork coming together. They just look they look very competitive. I mean, how can they not? They've had a lot of comparisons saying that their road to winning the Eastern Conference has been easy. But how can it be easy when you're sweeping everybody? So I think they got to put some respect on the name, because even for OKC and San Antonio, they done played some cakewalk series. I mean, as much as I am a LeBron fan, LeBron being the number 3, I don't know what that team even looked like. They ain't had Luka, so that team, it was a cakewalk for them. Then to wipe out the Suns. I mean, those weren't really that competitive either. I will say for the Spurs, I like them playing against Minnesota. I thought that was kind of competitive. I like seeing Ant-Man, but New York's road to the championship has been equal to everybody else. So I just don't understand why they trying to throw shade on them like that.
New York been doing pretty good. But I just don't. Carl Anthony Towns. How you turn into a a big man. You a big man that make plays now. You don't want to score. Like, you don't want to score. And you're not really rebounding. Like, you just want to pass the ball off. I don't see how much that's
He reminds me of a taller version of Chris Bosh. That's what he reminds me of.
And I'm gonna be completely honest. The way them young Spurs playing, they best bet is to play OKC. They don't want to play them young boys. They do not. One thing about it, I tell people all the time, don't nobody want it more than the younger. Cause you on a stage that is so you never been on, and just to keep going like that, they want it, bro. They want it. The Spurs want it. So I don't know. I don't think the Knicks want the Spurs. If they best bet, probably to play OKC. They might be able to knock them off. But to play the Spurs, them young boys, they might be right. They got too much to prove. Like the way they locking down SGA, come on, man. I can see Jalen getting the same treatment. They ain't got nothing to lose. Once you put a cat on somebody like that that's willing to risk it all, what's his name? Vassell or Cassidy? Whoever the one who guarding SGA, he's doing a great job. Great job. Mm-hmm. To let somebody that's averaging 30 points not even put up 30 points, bro. So if he could play that way tomorrow night, I might need to go out and see what the bookie look like.
I've been watching. That's one thing for sure.
Mm-hmm. Everybody going for OKC tomorrow. I don't really see too many bettors taking the Spurs tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Maybe whoever like underdog should see, but I think most people gonna try to play it safe and take them OKC boys, man. And I don't like neither one of them. So I hope whoever picks whoever, man, it pan out in y'all way, man. Don't bet the mortgage, man.
You better talk to KT. KT is an avid gambler. I gamble
on the WNBA, man. Football and WNBA.
Man, you're talking. Now, see, hey, they play. They underpaid. They love the sport.
Bingo.
They gonna play.
Yeah, but sometimes them girls, I just seen the game.
On WNBA.
I just seen the game at halftime. It was 27-25 at halftime out of 20 minutes in the WNBA.
See what I'm saying?
That's terrible.
See what I'm saying? Like, NBA, it be 100 to 37. You be like, they shooting straight threes.
No, like I said, before you move on, one thing I got to say about the NBA, these coaches, they'll bench they starters in the fourth, and they be down by 10, and won't bring them back in until they lose them by 20. You bring them in for 1 minute, then take them back out and give up.
Yep.
I said, what are you doing?
Yeah,
man, that's it. That's how I got on. I guess that's trending with KT. I guess we got a little bit deep in it, but I guess we got to keep a push on the chart. You know what I'm saying? We have some more fire next keeping with the trending. KT keep my back.
Yeah, we do. We definitely gonna have to put a pin on to keep trending, so we can get into this main topic tonight, man. Because it's a couple of different things that we gonna have to express for the state of Black America. For maybe I need to be a little bit more explanatory on what I mean by that. Just the temperature of what's going on right now during the Trump era. With how the way the economy, with the way that black on black, is dealing with each other. We've got several parameters that I like to use when I see black politics going on, just like a measurement in the black community, and for tonight, going into the state of Black America in 2026. The question comes to my mind that when I'm dealing with my white counterparts, dealing with the viral moment with Chud the Builder, for those who are familiar with him, his mindset. How many of my white counterparts share that ignorant type of mindset? Is a good question that I'm really curious about, because with all of the people that was jumping to his rescue to come bond this man out of jail, that shows the support. So that's letting so how can I not think that there's others that share that ignorance? Then number two, we're our own worst enemy. So we got the black on black stuff going on. Instead of brothers and sisters and family members is esteeming each other, lifting each other, pulling each other up, not the crab in the barrel mentality, we often are our worst critics. So we got the black on black, perspective. Then we got the black exploitation that's going on. Many times we sell ourselves out and allow ourselves to be exploited. And then, we got examples of, look at the NFL, look at the NBA, look at the music industry, look at the prison population. If those aren't modern forms of black exploitation, I don't know what it is. And then, then we got the black politics. I already said we're speaking about the 2026, the temperature of what it is outside. And many people have a problem with if you were black and you voted for Trump. I'm sorry. If you want to throw tomatoes at me, let me be the first one to let you know I voted for him. And to be honest with you, if the candidates were still the same, I would still vote the same. Just to let you know. But nonetheless, black politics, I'm trying to, understand, why is it so hard for us as even black people to even talk about that? You say something about that, it becomes a problem because we don't agree with each other. So black politics, and then the black church, that's the last subject that I think best expresses what we're dealing with as a black community. So I'm gonna be pulling out a couple different articles, some receipts to express exactly what I mean when it comes to those subjects. KT, you got something to say before I pull out the first video, brother? If you saying something, brother, I can't hear you.
Yeah. Hold up, man. No, I'm ready, man. Let's get popping, bro. Ain't got much to say, my brother. I'm just ready for the topic. Chud.
Yeah, let me see which one of the first ones I'm gonna go with. Let's go ahead and let's check out Chud the Builder. What kind of name is that? It's a Masonic Builder. Let's check him out.
It's a decent name.
Streamer Chud the Builder, whose real name is Dalton Etherly, shot the unidentified man during a scuffle on May 13th outside of the courthouse in Clarksville. Viral videos circulating online purports to show the chaotic aftermath of a racist streamer allegedly shooting a black man outside a Tennessee courthouse. Streamer Chud the Builder, whose real name is Dalton Etherly, shot the unidentified man during a scuffle on May 13th outside of the courthouse in Clarksville, according to the DA, who said Chud also accidentally shot himself during the confrontation. The 28-year-old has amassed an online following by filming himself speaking vile racial slurs, such as referring to black people as chimps, and openly saying the N to get reactions. In footage captured by Clarksville Now, Etherly could be seen tended to by first responders at the scene, where he began streaming his interactions following the alleged shooting. Etherly can be heard blaming his gunfire on the other man, who was black, according to witnesses, saying the man confronted and threatened him over his vile online content.
He said, "You start saying all that chimp out shit to me, I'm gonna hit you." He hit me, started wailing on me, even after I had to defend myself by shooting him. He's still wailing on me.
Elsewhere in the 16-minute clip, the streamer can be heard asking authorities if he shot himself amid the scuffle, noting a graze on his arm. The victim was medically evacuated and is recovering in stable condition, officials said. The mustached antagonist was supposed to appear at the court for a civil case over unpaid debts, which comes just days after he was arrested for allegedly refusing to pay a $400 restaurant bill, even after he polished off his entire meal. Following the shooting, Etherly was booked into the Montgomery County Jail, while the local sheriff's office vowed those responsible would be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. Etherly has been charged with attempted murder, employing a firearm during dangerous felony, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon.
Lock him up.
Ouch. And Deacon WEEZO coming in saying that he shares the mindset
Your
of
child
children
was
to feel
sexually
the-
exploited, abused,
Oh
or
my
pressured to
goodness,
share
we're gonna-
explicit content
we're gonna
by
have
some.
to let him get into this. Let me get him on the phone here because he looked like he want to throw gasoline into the fire. But while I get him on the phone, I'll just pass it over there to you, Forever. What you think about this?
Yeah, like I said, I don't really got too much to say about it, man. I seen it got a couple times, social media. Honestly, man, I know it was coming. It was coming, and truthfully, I thought something was. You know, I've seen a couple of videos to where he jumped up and acted like he wanted to do something. He met a couple of brothers that was licensed in Canada. So I feel like he tried
hey, what's going on here? Yes, sir. What's going on, y'all? Hey,
We got none other than Deacon WEEZO in the building. What's going on, brother?
oh, brother, what's going on?
You tell me. You got bond money. You getting shut out of jail?
Man, me and Joy having a fish fry at the Moose Lounge. Yes, sir, brother. We already got the. Yes, sir. We gonna have us a good time. Yes, sir. Hey, we going to the gun range. Yes, sir. We got a couple benches lined up if I have to. But yeah, brother. Hollywood. I got before we start on third. But y'all found old young man. Ryan that played Southeast football. Yes, sir. Is that our brother Young that won played for Southeast? Sir. Man, salute to him. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I said, boy, that nigga smoking that good green too. Boy, them young patient turkey. But yes, boy, you got them that got dog. I said, boy, that ain't all the dudes right now. Yeah, he's smoking ass.
Dick, you gonna have me start playing. You gonna have me start playing the church organ chords because it sound like you turning this into a roast, and I feel bad who finna be the meat in this roast, brother.
You know, we gotta do something. You know how we got to do. You know, and speaking of a roast, you know, man, Chud, I used to go with Chud's sister in ninth grade.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, brother. Oh man, yeah. You know, I mean, it's you know, Hollywood. She was my first white girl. You know, we worked at Winn-Dixie together. But you know, you're a friend, brother. So, man, yes, sir, bro. It was man. You know, I'm trying to tell you. But you know, in Hollywood, the thing with Chud is a lot of the Keishas love him too. Oh, you will see a Keisha with a George Washington wig, telling Chuck that they watch his Twitch. They love it. I told Adrian Broner and Ian the Great, get Chud on y'all Twitch. They hit him in the jaw when the camera goes down. But that dog you only get that Twitch money. And you know, and Twitch is made for crackheads. Because you know, that's what we call people that was in the hood of Twitch. Yeah, brother, yeah, they twitching. You know, so yeah, I like the name to that. But you know, man, getting on Chud, you know, he in protective custody. Everybody watching out for him. You know, they making sure that he good and he alive in there. Because you know, Chud will be a good looking girlfriend. Boy, look at here. I almost said a boy name. I ain't gonna say Shepherd's name, but the fellas, you know, man, I'm telling you, Hollywood, he went to Pope Manatee. Boy, everybody will be fighting about that Chud booty. You know, but yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir, yeah.
Dick, I'm trying to understand what side of the fence you on, because you said you was going you said you was gonna be the only black man to go bail him out, but then you just hyping up Adrian Broner to punch him in the mouth. Which one you doing?
I'm prosecute. I do it.
Wow.
Anything like that. I'm a hypocrite. I'm like my mama. Yes, sir. I'm the type that go to the church, but they ain't got a guy rolled up in the Cadillac.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just being honest. Yeah, Hollywood. So I'm just gonna go with what everybody else going. Just how I got a you know, man. But I'm trying to, and I want to follow that money. But see, one thing with too, everybody got to understand Hollywood. Everybody just sick and tired of our race. And that's one thing, but then too, they can't make it. Like I said, he got to hide his racism. See, he all cold because he's saying what people really feel, but at the end of the day, he's still supposed to be nice, nasty, like the Democrats. You know, man. Hey, we're gonna act like we love those blacks. You know, when we're shaking hands and rubbing on baby heads to get them to vote for us. But as soon as we get in the tub, boy, we can't stand those niggas. And that's, you know, and Chud didn't do that. But so with that being said, too, brother, don't he look like a bootleg Drew McIntyre from the WWE with that uncoordinated bipolar beard he got on his KT
would be a better have a better opinion on that. I don't keep up with it.
Oh well, you know, KT watch wrestling with his drawers on too, brother, and make sure that shirt is. You know, yeah, brother, man. You know, he love to watch that Monday Night Raw. Yeah, sure, brother. Just put on pajamas. All right, now. Yeah, brother.
Unbelievable.
I'm trying to tell y'all that wrestling.
In all seriousness, though, man, you know, with somebody that has this mindset, how many people do you think that you encounter on a regular basis that shares this same mindset of ignorance towards black individuals? So what?
Everybody.
You say
everybody? Yes, sir.
You say everybody, huh?
Yeah, Hollywood. Yeah, everybody got this bipolar mindset. I just think too, just how y'all were talking about sports earlier, how a lot of the Beckies be ready to holler at the black sport athlete end. They even got a playbook on how to do, you know. So with that being said, because everybody got mindset. You rarely will find somebody who will go against the grain. But what hurt me was looking at Chud's video, and he asking the black men with no teeth to say the N-word and give him chicken sandwiches. I'm like, why would you have to give him chicken? Like, man, you said there. So, I mean, man, you could have kept your chicken sandwiches and gave them mangoes, something else. But man, you know how everybody feeling that thing. You know, and with that being said, this is why it's so important that we clean up our community. Because even though other races are terrible and definitely worse as us, that camera always on us. Boy,
that's the truth. That's the truth.
And this man racked up $500,000. I mean, a bail money.
Facts.
He gonna be He's gonna be a millionaire when he get out. You know, and it's so sad that this stuff go on, but at the point of we at the point of no return now. Fellas, this is why it's so important that we continue to watch everything going on. And you don't want to be a tin duck out here. And yes, sir. Because Judge now, when he do get out, he got copycats. People, yeah, and they getting paid to be a copycat. But see, who gonna be the copycat for the black men that's in their community doing the right thing? Like who gonna show them some love? Cause I ain't gonna lie, being a brother, just got low self-esteem. And boy, we ain't got no encouragement being a brother no more. A well-known black man. Brother, I'm about to fall onto my Hollywood. It's so bad now. I want to go to Thuggin, and I'm too old to jump up. What? With my pants hanging, and my pants, my 4 feet, somebody fighting and thugging and hanging at the road bar. But that's what everybody celebrates. Like, man, but when you authentic, when you take 2 baths, when you brush your teeth, and when your breath smells good, nobody pay no attention to you until you kick the can and die. Oh, they gonna talk good at Hollywood. All the fellas. Father's Day, before the you can forget, let's go to the Skyway Memorial. And I want everybody to look at all them black kids that go out there and watch them crawl on those tombstones and see that all their daddies are dead. Hollywood, y'all have to witness that. It's so crazy, man. I go every Father's Day. I just go out there. I was going out there to clean my daddy and boss Washington grave. But when I seen what I was seeing, it tore the deacon up, man. Y'all, but with that being said, we got a Chud. I can't wait till you get out, Chud. Now, I wouldn't go to one of his parties late at night neither. Yeah. Like, Hollywood, what you think? What you think they doing with him in protective custody? He might be home, knowing them. They'll tell a lie about anything. How many times you seen a cop that killed the black person, them do an interview and just to show where the cop at now? That woman that killed that boy in his apartment. We have never seen them folks that mistreated a black person like a Here and Now video. But you'll see, like, think about it, y'all. And have y'all seen that though? Anybody who mistreated or killed the black person, like in prison, folks did anything?
Yeah, facts. Yeah, definitely seen some excerpts of stuff like that.
Yeah.
While we got you on, Deke, I'm gonna pass it over to Forever for a quick moment. Then I'm gonna I got some interviews to pull up here. But Forever, okay. What's your perspective on it, brother? Forever, where you at, big dog? All right, while we waiting on Forever, KT, I'm doubling back to you. So what is the ratio of people that you think that you encounter on a regular basis that shares this ignorant mindset?
Oh, 99.5. Yeah.
But you're going to work with a lot of these people that don't look like you. And so do you feel like that the work setting is probably the most common if you do deal with or run into somebody who doesn't see you as a equal?
I think you most likely run out. You run to that stuff if you out and about in the club scene. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel. At the job, people still want to make their money. Unless they the supervisor, they might try to pull moves like that. But if they a regular old guy, they gonna fall in line.
Yeah, Deke, we all three have worked together. That's how long we done been brothers from another. We all used to work for the city, and Deke across the bridge in P-Town. How often did you encounter a mindset like that?
Oh man, actually the KKK are the cool ones. It's the own people that have the mindset that, especially them old ones. them old sanctified ones that go to the church, they have that mindset because they the ones that are tell on you. You know, like soon as and Zeke gonna be honest with you, at that job, a lot of folks who you think that would like want to teach you something or just, you know, you young, they older. Some of them, the worst black Klansmen ever invented. So with that being said, a lot of the ones that have that mindset, they do know how to play, they know how to hold their emotions and not really show it. Judge the only one who just wilding out, but he coming home to get that big bag. But a lot of them other ones, they know how to tame that. They know how to win. They know how to keep it to where they can feel that way, but we gonna still look at them as a hero. And nothing that they can do wrong. One of us gonna continue to sell out. We're not gonna say nothing. We're gonna love them as much as anybody else. And what's sad is a lot of them have this mindset. But I'm gonna tell you, Hollywood, the biggest racist day is Sunday. Look at how when the rules that were made for all of us that we follow, what color was the person that made these rules? You know, like you know, and if you think about it, nothing will ever change until the rules change. But it have to be me, you, and you know, brother KT, everybody, Yuck Mouth, we all need to sit at that table and give our thoughts on it. Because what we living in right now today is still based off them old racist rules. Now in the 90s,
I'm glad you said that, brother. I want you to keep that energy because we got this second point into this conversation. Miss Anita Grayson, who was tragically killed up in Fort Wayne, Indiana. She was encountered by two of the employees at a Tim Hortons restaurant, and she was assaulted and ultimately was died at the hospital after being assaulted. So she's being represented by none other than Mr. Ben Crump. Shout out to Tallahassee for him putting that on the map. But yeah, I want us to watch this video of that really kind of puts it in perspective of what happened with Miss Grayson. Let's check that out.
75 years old, and video footage posted by her Black mother and grandmother was a 75-year-old Black mother and grandmother was beaten to death at a Tim Hortons in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and sadly, the people that attacked her have yet to be arrested. Let's get into it. So the woman's name was Anita Ann Grayson, and she was 75 years old, and video footage posted by her daughter shows what may have led to the incident. There appears to have been a disagreement between Miss Grayson and two of Tim Hortons' employees. Now, one of the employees places her hands on Miss Grayson, and a shoving match ensues. From there, the employee begins to punch Miss Grayson repeatedly until she falls onto the floor, and then another employee joins the melee. Now, the attackers can be seen throwing kicks and punches while Miss Grayson is on the floor. And after the fight was broken up, Miss Grayson is seen on the floor struggling to get up. Now, according to local media outlets, the incident took place May 13th around 8:15 a.m. at Tim Hortons in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The police responded to what was reported as an altercation that involved a reported battery. And when officers arrived, Miss Grayson was unresponsive, and medics started life-saving measures, but unfortunately, she died at the hospital. She leaves behind children and grandchildren. Now, one of the people seen in the video has been identified as August Horner. A 75-year-old Black mother and grandmother was beaten to death at a Tim Hortons in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and
pray for her family. Before I open up the discussion again, I want to also piggyback off of the news report of Ben Crump becoming her representation, which means a lot.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Now,
Hold on one second, D.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
One second, brother. Had some technical difficulties. Let's get into this video.
The family of Anita Grayson, the 75-year-old woman who died after an altercation at a Tim Hortons restaurant in Fort Wayne, hired national civil rights attorney Ben Crump, her family. And Crump has gained attention from his involvement in cases representing families of people like George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and Ahmaud Arbery. Crump, alongside attorney Sue Robinson, will be investigating the circumstances surrounding Grayson's death. Crump also released a statement about the case saying, quote, "We have been retained to stand with Grayson's family to make sure their voice is a part of this process and to see this investigation is thorough and fair. Our focus is on supporting the family and on making sure the truth is established," end quote. To find all of our previous coverage on this story, you can scan the QR code and head to 21alivenews.com.
So yeah, those were definitely some some startling news reports about that. KT, I'm gonna start with you, brother. What is that? What do you feel about that?
How I feel, man. I feel like Miss Anita, right? It's Anita or Melita?
Anita, Miss Anita Grayson, 75 years old, mother and grandmother.
Yeah, I understand that, but from my knowledge of this event, she was the aggressor.
Facts.
This is over a drive-through order. She berated a 70-year-old worker, and stuff escalates, So this is almost similar to the Chud situation. So she ended up dying because she was the aggressor, upset over order, attacking the 70-year-old woman, and the people had to defend themselves. Once they let you know she older, it triggered a physical fight into the floor. Then it got broken up. Then she died later. It could have been avoided if she just would have just, like I said, it's not right that she died. Don't get me wrong, but like I say, when it comes, like I say, you can't tell people how to react to your reaction. Everybody not going just like the footage I showed you at the graduation. The white woman threw the lady phone on the ground and got punched in the face, knocked down. So these things you have to be aware of, when you make these decisions. But in this scenario, I feel bad for the older lady, but I feel like she was in the wrong. She was too aggressive, and you got there's no a 75-year-old person can kill you still, That's why.
So based on a law standpoint, you're saying that and shout out to Mom Dukes. My mom and then stepped in and she getting ready to add into the chat. Matter of fact, she did some research behind this subject as well. So I'm eager to get her 2 cents into it. But are you telling me from a lawful standpoint, yes, she might have gotten angry about something. There might have been some heated exchange of words, but what it end up leading into now, part of it I'm not fully aware of. That they said that she had pulled out some of this young lady's hair. I don't know if that was in the midst of once the altercation started that took place. But as things escalated, what would have been the necessity for a second co-worker to jump into it? What would have been the necessity of this lady when she is on the ground? We're not doing no UFC grappling and putting chokeholds. She on the ground and both of these young ladies commenced to stomping this lady. Where's the line? Where do we draw the line at? Because this lady was a customer. So and these young ladies were employees. So at some point, there's going to be other aggressive customers that come in there, and just because they say something, if they haven't done nothing physically, and I'm not fully aware of the exchange that happened.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, brother.
But according to KLTV, the customer shoved and hit the shift lead. That triggered a physical fight that spilled onto the floor.
Yeah.
And then the other employees eventually broke up the
basically,
struggle.
from that account, they're saying that she initiated.
According to the news station, this ain't me making it up. This is from the KLTV.com. So
she deserved.
So up to now, nobody got no charges on her. That's why the family of this of Anita
correct.
National Civil Rights guy. You get involved with, I guess, Ben Crump or somebody maybe. But like I said, you can't put your hands on people that know. Like I said, unless you're in the, it's never good. But if you got dementia in a nursing home, it's still not right. But you've been diagnosed with those kind of, so people have to handle you according to what they know about you. But you can't put your hands on nobody at no age limit, man. You can't.
Yeah.
Everybody don't have the same patience.
No.
Some people reaction is the fight automatic. That workers could have had a bad day, and vice versa. The customer had a bad day about the order. You know, so it's a sad situation. But if she hit the employees first, they have the right to defend themselves. Same with Chud. Chud, he said nasty words. I hate defending this guy because I don't like him. But words should never cause you to hit nobody. It should never. So, Chud, people antagonize people all the time. I know a lot of people don't like to turn the cheek. But once you make that move to touch somebody, you can't tell the other person how they react. Their action might be violence. They might turn the other cheek and walk away. It ain't no guarantee. That's all I got to say.
Ooh. Oh man,
I hear that one. Y'all fellas give a warm welcome to none other than Mom Dukes, my mother. I appreciate you getting in here with the fellas into the lion's den. And passing some of that estrogen in here because we might need some of that. So nonetheless, Mom, what did you pull from this unfortunate situation with Miss Anita Grayson?
Well, it's kind of hard to determine because the data that I read and viewing the video, it did not seem to sync. It did not seem to correlate because the video had a lot of blockage, like sketchy, where it wasn't really fully seen as to how it all played out. It seemed like there was some black part in there, but anyway, I do feel and concur with what I have heard in regards to, yes, you are correct. We should, a customer should not come in with the intent of being physical, and you do have to protect yourself. But at the end of the day, I do feel that places that cater to the public should be educated on certain, behavior and knowing how to diffuse a situation where it does not escalate, because again, they will be, held accountable as well. So there's some, dynamics in there that does need to be really addressed for this situation and the coming up situation that can occur. So it's very disfortunate that this happened. But when I saw the last part of the footage, I didn't see any type of blood or anything to say that a person's hair was yanked out, because they said it was like a clump of hair. So, again, it just seems like it was a bit erroneous on some of the information that was put out there. But, I wasn't there, and so I don't know. But it is a sad situation.
For sure.
And we're gonna circle back to this. But while I got you, because I know that you Golden Girls, y'all have a curfew. So I want to get you while you still thinking sharp. So one thing that I wanted to address is that my mother, and you know, she definitely doesn't look her age, but my mother has been around long enough to have been in school when it was segregated, which I think that, you know, that's it's relevant in the larger scope of speaking on the state of Black America, because too many times I hear my white counterparts that there's people that think that it's been like as long as since dinosaurs been around, that prejudice was such on a wide scale that it was widely accepted. You know, because that's not today. It's not wide open in front of your face. That it hadn't been that long ago is the point. And to be in the South, you got states like South Carolina and Alabama who were the last to jump on board for even getting rid of legislation like banning interracial marriage in the 90s and 2000. So here we are, 2025. We're not far removed from that time frame. And so I'm curious when I see it, people who are blessed to be in this world for such a long time, to be able to see how society has adapted and changed. So my question, I don't want to give no open-ended questions, is that, you know, what have you noticed? And I know we've talked about this, but what have you noticed from the time that you were in school that has changed, if anything? You know, when I was going to school, what were the dynamics that you seen change from being in a segregated school to even you actually was you actually went into the stage of going out of a segregated school to a desegregated school. So you've seen both sides of those, correct?
That is correct.
So yeah, what can you weigh in on that, on how that may be relevant to today's America for Blacks?
Well, because I did not, you know, when you're talking about Black and white being separated, I did not encounter any negativity when I was going to those schools, because again, I thought that was the norm. When the transition took place in my third grade year, I still didn't encounter anything negative, because for whatever reason, the teachers did not treat me any differently from my Black counter teachers. So I'm not sure exactly how I can weigh in on that would make a statement in regards. And if I could add to what you're saying about weighing in for the time that I was going to school as opposed to what is happening right now, is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, just because it's so outdated that, you know, that people are often not even aware of that their people are still alive that were in that time frame. So just to hear that, like, and I've also since then spoke to KT. His mother also was in a segregated school as well. Am I correct, KT?
No, I fact checked. It was my auntie. She's 80 years old, so not my mama. I apologize.
Okay.
That's bad information. I thought
So you was creating fish stories for me.
No, my auntie for sure. She from Madison, Florida, so that's all they had.
Well, I'll open it up to the panel as well. Is there anybody else in here that they've got any near relatives that they know that were a product of segregated school systems? We got Forever that just tapped back in with us, so it's open for any one of y'all that may want to weigh in. Even you too, D.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with that being said, even with a person, and hey, hello, mama, hey, how you doing? You know, and glad to hear you. And you know, Hollywood, but we got to look at it like this generation. They don't care about none of that. So you know, I guess I can say that to say this, like, you know, getting back with the segregated schools. People say they went to Lincoln Middle or this and that. I remember when our culture was taught with respect, we would honor that. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Oh, okay. Mama went to Coach Shannon. You know, things like that used to go on. But this generation of black children ain't raised like that by their single mother. They don't care about, a lot of them don't care about none of that. You know, these kids won't even acknowledge an elderly person or say, hey, how you doing, sir? You know, they don't say no, ma'am, yes, ma'am. Anything that we, you know, and I'm just saying it, you know, just the rules are definitely changed. This is why it's so funny, you know, when you know people who went through those hard times, they won't even try to teach these kids or try to use what they've been through. And I'm just speaking on what I'm seeing. Like, nobody won't correct the youth. It's just everybody just let them do them. So, you know, and getting back on this lady that came in there, her family called and said they was glad that some people killed her, because that lady was a child abuser. She did all kind of stuff. But what get me is we have too many people that hide behind, oh, I'm just a 75-year-old black woman, this and that. But you're evil, you're nasty. You can't go in there and just talk to anybody any kind of way. People play with God. They hide behind title and age, and they think that they can just do anything. Now, her granddaughter said that woman was abusive. They said she did all kind of stuff, and you could do your research on it. As I talk, they clap for her to die. So that's just, so it's two sides of a story. But I hate what these ambulance chasers are doing. They'll skip all this black death with all these young people and go and help the old elderly lady to go get money. So what is Ben Crump? Like, what is his mission? Because, man, it's like, and I get it. I hope he listens. Because, man, the stuff that he do, all this other stuff going on, bro, you gonna just go and help that situation. And if nobody don't see that it's all about the almighty dollar, this is why our community is in the shape it's in. A lot of the elderly black people have sold us out for money and all kind of resources. And it's so bad that nobody see this. Look at how bad we doing. You gonna skip through all the other crimes to go and help this lady because she died? Man, it's no way, bro. And we have to call that out. We got to call these Democrats, everybody who witnessed, out. Because look at all these black churches in these crime-ridden neighborhoods. Not one person go out to church, though, and try to say anything. And look at how bad it is. So it makes me just question a lot of stuff. And I'm starting to look at a lot of people who get held with these titles crazy. Because, again, this lady, 70-some years old, she came in there and cussed them people out. But then for her, and where's the accountability at for her attitude? Like, people not playing that no more. They don't care nothing about if that's your grandma or not. If she can't go in there and be civil and respect them, but she's so used to talking and being disrespectful to everybody, nobody hold up for it. This is why in our community it's so bad, because we can't get nothing done because that mindset is all over our community. A 70-some-year-old lady going in there to fight by the milkshake, and nobody see nothing wrong with that. But then they gonna say she an old black lady to try to play on our culture. Man, they crazy. But man, so again, I just want everybody to see how they're trying to play on our heartstrings by saying that she's 75. Man, some of them people be the worst demons in the world.
You got some valid points there, brother. I can't even deny it. You know, no matter what age you are, your character and your personality, they received the same way. So it's unfortunate if she was a version of what was being described. I'm a little confused, as you're aware of as well, that they went and got Ben Crump to be the representation for him, because you don't call Ben Crump out and I don't think he's enlisting his services for something that's not an obvious level of scrutiny, and showing that there's some level of liability that happened. So I need to go and do my little homework a little bit more, and probably talk about this on a later episode about, like you say, there needs to be accountability. It is unfortunate for this lady to be of that age and even to want to, get out of character like that. But I still look at when there's this report that 2 employees, not 1, 2, and I don't know, I don't know that there can't be a 75-year-old lady that could still get out there and thump. She probably could. But on average, most of them ain't able to go out there and get no boxing ring. I mean, look what just happened to what's them 2 ladies that got into the MMA match, Carano versus Ronda Rousey. You see how quick Carano had tapped out, because but thank you for that rebound there, Deke. But to get again, it's neither here nor there. Accountability is one thing I totally agree with you on, Deke. There needs to be accountability. What you got, KT?
And the preliminary findings showed there were no significant contributory injuries. So it was no internal or no external severe enough to have caused the person to die. So maybe I'm not a doctor, but maybe something like George Floyd might have happened. Maybe got too tight, heart attack, maybe something similar. I don't know, but that's speculation. But that's according to the early reports from the doctors, the coroner's office, that it didn't come from the fight. But
that seems really hard to believe. No laughing matter about it, that she didn't sustain any injuries from that after getting stomped on everything else. There's no related injuries which caused her to die.
They said it wasn't severe enough to cause her to die. Yep. That
seems real shady.
ALTV in Tennessee, baby. But it's not a fun situation. But the more of the story, nobody should be fighting nobody. Or people like what your mother said. Yeah. People at these certain places should do. It should be an extra step before attacking the customer, unless you're just getting whammed on. So some people that came to some of the workers, they should have picked up fast enough. Like, hey, this lady, let's just refuse it real quick. Well, it seemed like there's a lot of young people working at the job, so it seemed like they probably like, when you got these fast food joints, these kids don't care, man. They don't even want to work. So you can't expect them to be grown to make things.
What you got, Mom Dukes?
And if I can interject to what you were saying, Kareem, the shift manager, the shift lead was there. And so seemingly she should have taken control right then and there. Don't get me wrong, I'm not condoning if the 75-year-old or whomever, it doesn't really, age really is not the major factor here. Is the major factor is the fact that if she did come in with an attitude that, again, that shift manager should have intervened and diffused it to her best ability by saying to that person, if you do not maintain your disposition, then we're going to call the cops or anything to again neutralize, to neutralize the situation. And so that is what I'm looking at. I'm not condoning if that is the case, that if she came in with out of character, but the point is that they should have took an extra step, company wise. That should be part of policy to say, hey, because we do know these things do have occurred. This is not like the first rodeo of something like this happening. You know, I can't say that this is the first time. You know, we always have some type of infractions, you know, going around. So we have to have a counter plan to be able to you know, proceed in these situations that arise. Did I say that
One
right?
thing I would like to add, one thing I would like to add, we got to keep in mind the shift lead was the 20-year-old. The worker was 17-year-old. So these people are still, they're not even 21 yet. So a shift lead like 25, 28 got common sense in the hey, go to the back, just go away, and then they do what they gotta do, call police, you know. But these young people, so I'm thinking they probably turned up, you know. They probably enticed the little, you know. Young people is crazy. I ain't gonna say all young people, but young people they live for the drama. So it seemed like something the shift lead they ain't really too concerned about it until it was too late, until the lady was unresponsive.
Right. Yeah.
Forever, I see you to tap back in, brother. What do you have to add into the to this situation about Miss Anita Grayson? You there, brother?
Uh-oh.
All right. Nonetheless, you know, I just think that it has close ties into the first subject that we that opened up this conversation, is that, you know, the value on Black life. You know, with guys like Judd the Builder that have a very disrespectful mindset. Yeah, I don't think that none of us need to be going in with guns blazing, trying to start something. I try to stay at peace as best as possible, and that keeps me out of trouble. And the same thing, I think, it goes for men and women. I mean, especially women. I'm thankful that my mother moves around with grace. She is quick to forgive. She is quick to have something positive to say. And so that's rubbed off on her orientation with other people. I've seen that. That's also seeing that growing up, that also has influenced me and shaped the way that I deal with people. So that also, I think, as you guys have alluded to, that if her family is speaking negative about her, then that sounds like some of those seeds have been planted in that family that have been sown, and that's unfortunate. So and we know that usually apples don't fall far from the tree. So so maybe there might be some other instances in the family that may also reflect some level of no self-control. But moving forward, as we're opening up this conversation, I want to pivot over to that the Black church, and how the way that, you know, what is that looking like now? Because I heard that Deke was saying, you know, when these situations do arise, how many of our members from our Black church are standing in the trenches and actually doing something besides just saying that they believe in Jesus? Because I don't believe Jesus would stand for these things. I think he'd be out there saying something, putting a face and saying we don't support this. So there is a way to do that. It does make it difficult when you see a situation like this, because you don't know what side to stand on. And the side of what's right isn't always easily to identify, because I have some level of empathy for this lady. How can you not? She's 75. And I also have a level of accountability that I also agree with. So it makes it very difficult, other than to know what the law is. And that's why we're going to have to use that as the rule of thumb. But in the Black church, you know, I think that has also let us down, because as we know, in most of our Black communities, we don't have no businesses. We'll usually have a corner store, but we got about 10 churches in a small radius. So we know that that's something very common. But where's the refuge for us in America? That how much is that aiding towards these things that we're trying to eradicate? Recidivism of these guys going in and out of the prison system, being exploited in many other ways, that it all kind of resorts to what was not or what did happen at home. But the church is supposed to also, aid in that, to me. Between the black churches in particular, and it's sad that we even have to have a color or a culture associated with a church. The church is just is the body. It's the temple. It's not a building, but we often associate it with a race. You got a white church, but yet you'll still see black people in there, and on occasion you're going to see black churches with some white people in there. So, but nonetheless, I do think that if we're looking at, if we're trying to look at the health of the black community as a whole, I think that taking a look at the church gives us a good measure on what our health is as a community, for the use of it or the lack of. So when I see things like openly gay ministers, pastors, that are black and white, but because I'm speaking about the black situation right now, there's openly gay pastors that's mocking what they know to be true in the Bible, and I think that opens us up to be confused in many ways, because many people are relying on the church to tell them things that they're not doing themselves. They're not reading, they're not studying, they're just showing up and then expecting it to be some magic to resolve their problems. So the black church, when it's supporting things openly like LGBTQ and the lack of black marriages are being looked at and being toyed with, because we're not, people aren't getting married now, because we know that that oftentimes the TV is pinning us up against each other, men and women, that women are saying, oh, men ain't good enough, and men are saying that this woman's too loose, so I can't make her my wife. So, I know that those aren't all the situations, but very commonly when we look at, our community, that's what we're being exposed to. And I think those are issues that the church is supposed to be able to take a stance and step forward to reinforce, some health in those areas. So yeah, Mom Dukes, the church, what do you take from that? How much do you think that the church has been effective for our community to grow in looking at it now in 2026?
You did say Mom Dukes.
Yeah, I did.
Well, that was a lot of loaded information that I'm processing, but all of us have accountability. You can't just put it on just one facet of saying, the church need to do this or this need to do that. We have to collaborate, as a whole, to me, to try to understand and to navigate in this life. I'm trying to think about everything you're saying so I can kind of hit on those points, because you said a lot. But
well,
there are churches
speak on marriage.
Okay.
How much that is the lack of, or how common it is to even see good, positive black representations of black marriages.
Well, I've seen good, on both sides, and it's just what all that you want to get out of a relationship, out of the marriage. You know, what you put in is usually, hopefully, what you will get out of. Now, you spoke on the fact that Black men don't want to marry because of the term of a woman being loose, you said.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that part. The key that I normally hear is Black men don't want to marry Black women because they tend to be a bit pushy or you know,
bad.
And so but I feel that, you know, a strong Black woman, well, let me just say a woman, period, but I do know you're using the Black card at the moment. So I find that if that woman knows what she wants in that relationship and she brings that to the table from the very beginning, then that's something that, you know, that man has to decide, you know, if he can deliver that. And if he can't, then sometimes they got to look at themselves, you know, do a self-reflection as to, you know, why is it that she feels so strongly the way she feels? Because apparently in her coming up in dating or whatever, maybe the Black man has let her down, you know. I don't know, you know, but, you know, there has to be some components there where make that person derive to that way of thinking. So, you know, I don't know. I just feel that there has to be good communication for the male and the female to be able to thrive, you know. So, you know.
What about the church? Have they made a strong enough stance to you to minister, support, maybe even redirect the LGBT community as they minister to it? Do you think that the Black church is doing an adequate job for that?
Yes, they are.
You're addressing that to me?
Yes.
Well, you know, because we have to walk on eggshells almost, in a sense, because we live in this world where, you know, if you go too far to the left, you're in trouble. If you go too far on the right, you're in trouble with our society when it comes to LG. Well, those acronyms, I get those acronyms turned around, but you know where I'm coming from. So, you know, so the church is somewhat sometimes, and I do know that we're not bound, you know, biblically speaking, we should have that liberty to address those things. But at the same time, we still live in a world that, you know, we have to answer to the regulations of what's the word I want to use? Help me out, son. I mean, Al.
Your grandson kind of threw me off 1 minute.
Sorry.
So.
Yeah. Again, like I'm trying to say, and having a hard time getting my verbiage right here, but you know, again, not to be redundant, it's just that the mere fact that it's just hard to make those calls sometimes, you know, because you do want to bring back those principles, but at the end of the day, you know, you still got to be able to stand up and be able to take those fires that can be shooting at you because you making a stance for that. I think I'm losing my train of thought here.
I get what you're saying, that, you know, we need to be invited into those circles for one, that you know, for us to be able to help somebody, they have to, number one, want our help. And we're often inviting ourselves in situations that we wasn't being given the authority, the ability to go in there and change. It's part of what I'm taking from what you're saying. So
that too, but what I'm saying is that, again, we know that when we do make those declarations when it comes to that, there's going to be backlash, you know, and we have to be ready to be able to stand up and support what we're trying to advocate to those parties, you know, whether it's LGB, you know, or even that, you know, just people who are living in relationships that are not married, that is not biblically sound, that's supposed to be, you know, the Bible supports, you know, where if you're going to live together, cohabitate together, you're supposed to be married, you know, there's, you know, different facets of
that's another side effect. I know we've opened it up to the alphabet community side, but the lack of the marriage, I think, also it breeds those situations, because, you know, the what do they call it? The nuclear marriage or the nuclear way of being the normal home. That's not the case anymore. People aren't looking to get married as commonly as they would before, because they don't honor the church, because they don't honor God, so they don't see any need for it. And so, to me, that's going to breed why there's so much perversion into why people don't want to get married, even for those that are trying to pervert marriage by having same-sex marriage. You know, those things, that's nothing but a mockery. You might as well not even have that. It doesn't perform well to me. So yeah, I think the Black church has to have a bigger responsibility. So I'm gonna open the floor up. I see you Forever still in here, but before I get to that, go ahead, D.
Well, yeah, the Black church stop loving money and business as usual on Sunday, then nothing won't change. I remember growing up, in the Jehovah's Witnesses knock on more doors than any one of these Christian Black churches. Another thing too, they have all those single mothers that be in those churches every Sunday at the Bible study. Not one of those pastors in their mind why don't they say, hey, go on and bring your baby daddy out. Let's heal these Black families. I have sat in these churches. I have even asked these pastors. I'm like, look, man, the Black church is the new gay club now. You have nothing but zesty duking out men that be in here, and it's not like they're trying to fix them from being gay. They allow them to be that way. They let them run the choir. They let them be around the little boys. They know that'll contaminate a little boy's soul with him being this way. So what has happened to us as Black folks? When they're selling each other out and not caring about your children, but I barely care about mine, and I don't care about nobody else but this money. You know? Look at the Black folks now. Everybody want attention. They love being on social media. And I'm not just talking about young folks, some of these old folks too. A lot of the older women, even my mom, I'm like, Mom, a lot of things that they allow in my family, if my granddaddy was alive, she wouldn't do it. But now everything is so toxic and all about attention. And I look at how a lot of the women from our community is leading us to hell, because everybody's scared to say something. I mean, if you look at our Black community, no other race don't have seminars on how to date their women. These other races, from these illegal immigrants to everybody, they come over here, they're in this Black community, they have their families and everything. We as Black men, we don't have the choice to just choose any woman we want. A woman has that choice, but if they're listening to all this Black feminism, you don't need that man. Child, walk off from him if you don't do what you say. This is why our children are being made out of unloved parents. A lot of these females get pregnant because they need an alternator at discount, auto part. This is why when they Black child gets killed out here, nobody do nothing about it. A lot of these other races that have babies, they come from relationships. No other community have it to where their children are getting killed for nothing, like black people. And I'm looking at this, I ask God, I say, why nobody don't tell God? I'm just watching these black, how these churches get so comfortable having these funerals every Saturday of young black folks. Is it because West Side paying the money? Like, look at this. So you gotta look at all the leaders, everybody who say that they're a bishop, all of this stuff. Look at the perversion in the church. How can I let a gay man be in the pulpit? They let transgenders walk around. What the hell is going on? Excuse my language, y'all, but I'm passionate about this because I don't understand. Why did it get this way? And yet when you say something about it, everybody get an attitude. We're scared to tell the truth because mama our sister or somebody who living like that gonna say something and have a problem with it. And I'm watching us lose our race. These other minorities are here to replace us. And they love to see how disparate, and it's our woman keeping us away. This is why everybody's single. They're going through it with this economy. They poor, and everything is steady going down. So why not, let's be honest, and tell this woman, hey, stop being nasty. You can't go to church, play with God, but then you're snorting powder in your Toyota car. Like, let's not, yeah, like,
what
a lot
in
of
the world?
You know, and my thing too, a lot of these females it's like nobody can tell them nothing. They have not saw their mom love a man. Mama probably let a man come over there, got some money, and this is how they were born. So we got to teach these females, because that's another thing. They hide off the mother thing, the single, strong black woman. We have a woman problem. Because look at what's happening. Nobody has to be another stereotype. You can put rules down. Hey, if this man don't marry me, I'm not gonna be with him. But if nobody had, a lot of these females choose who they want babies from. And if you want to go to the state fair and eat cotton candy, and you let somebody get you pregnant for that, you're not gonna love your child. And this is what's happening in today's black community.
Ouch.
Well, that goes both ways, though. You know, you can't just put that all on the woman. You know, the men have also been absent in their role as well. And sometimes, you know, because of that absency, you know, you have that dysfunctionalness that you're trying to say that is the woman problem. But it goes both ways. You know, you got to look at
those men.
Excuse me?
Who's raising those men?
Who's raising them? It's supposed to be a father and a mother. And so a lot of times the mother is the only one, you know, the only one doing the raising, and there's no male role model there. So how do you answer that?
Well, if a man didn't force himself on a woman, why can't her, if she know how to choose everything else, what's her problem with choosing the right man to be in her life?
Well, there's no way of choosing a right person. You don't know how that's going to play out. You hoping that relationship have longevity, but you no one can just assume that when we marry that's going to be the right person. We're hoping it to be, but you got to put in, you know, that's even with a job. If you don't go to work and do the time, you're not going to get paid. So it's the same principle when it comes to relationship. You have to cultivate that relationship. You know, you can't just have expectations. You got to put in the time, the male and the female. You know, you can't just put all fault on the male and all fault on the female. You come together as a union and try to walk together, you know, in your goals of reaching with communication. You know, a lot of times relationship falters because there's no good tools of communication. You just have expectations. You can't expect without being able to convey and share your ideals and your thoughts so that you can be able to work on those situations. That's what makes a relationship. It's not about, you know, and when I'm hearing you saying you're expecting that female to come with a full package of doing all the right things. we're all growing. We're all growing. We're all going to make mistakes. We're all going to have inadequacies. But you got to learn how to be able to communicate and share those things and let them know how you feel about something without having some major saying, oh, you didn't do this and you didn't do that. Well, did you say, hey, this is what I like, or this is what I don't like, so that person has the opportunity to work on themselves. So again, it just takes communication when it comes to relationship.
But how come in our community, like 90% of the women leave their marriage? Like they, especially now, like they will leave their husband. But
where is that a street calculation that you're just pulling out, or is that somewhere that we can find that ratio?
Yes, sir. Look it up, brother. And this is why I fought Tyler. Like, there's so many negative influences, fathers with social media, and you can look this up, brother. Like, and again, a lot of us men, we only love who love us. I wish that I could go out and just choose the baddest female to be with me and everything is happily ever after. But all of them following the same playbook. They were on the social media. Everybody want a millionaire. Prostitution is the biggest thing in the black community with a lot of these women that we deal with. They want money. A lot of them only listen to their white supervisor, but they have no respect for black males, not even their son. And it's so bad. Like, this is why it's like, man, like all of us know what the problem is, but it's like we never got a chance to hold the women in this community accountable for anything, because we say she's a queen. Oh, that's mama. Oh, I love my sister. But then when soon as something don't go their way, oh, we ain't this. Oh, y'all don't ever defend us. Every black male I know that been killed has died defending a black woman, whether it's been his sister or anything. But it's like they've been taught not to love us, and it's just so weak. Like, it's bad today. Look at these single, like, nobody should want to be a single mother if they watch their mom go through that. And it's like they use excuse and victimhood to continue their stereotype. And I'm watching these other races coming in and they playing off that, and they getting their families together to take on over, and they doing it.
KT, I ain't heard you in a little minute, brother. What you got to add into it?
No, man. Hey. You already know, man.
Don't be intimidated now. Go ahead and add into it.
I really got, I'm not an active member, so I don't really have it.
Yeah, that's that. You can speak on that from both perspectives. The lack of, or what scares you of black marriage? What you scared of?
Oh, I ain't scared, man. This is financial for me. That's it. It's just financials. I gotta make sure I got that in the row. Let's get a black marriage.
Okay, that didn't totally give me a real solid answer. You say that the finances is scaring you from marrying that woman. Okay. Anything else?
No.
Well, I think we done kick this dead horse down, and I'm gonna throw one more topic in there before I let Mom Dukes go ahead and get some rest. But the politics side, I think many times, our community looks at us and deems us as a sellout if we don't support everything black. And just like anything, not everything is good. There's not no one example that's a standard for everything. So, not every black restaurant I'm going to cater to, because some of them are too expensive. Some of them, it just ain't hitting the mark for me. But so does that mean I'm a sellout because I ain't going to go and support a business that I really just it ain't my cup of tea. But the politics side is what I'm really pointing at, is because if we don't support every black politician that comes up, you know, then we're a sellout. So for those who have voted for Trump, you know, it's being told, you know, if you're black, you automatically had to vote for Kamala. And we know that was not true. There's many black citizens that voted for Trump. Now, whether or not that they want to agree with everything Trump has done, that's not the question. The question was those that actually thought Trump was a good idea. And so, you know, with what's going on now, I think everything is being positioned as is Trump is being racist, Trump is this and that. I mean, even with the DEI supposedly fires, the people who were fired based on DEI hires. KT, I know you knew some. You brought up some topical information about that. What did you pull from that? Because I know most of the stories were reflecting on those 5 or 6 black candidates that, well, candidates ain't the right word I want to say, but there was 5 or 6 fires that were from black individuals who held those positions. But yet, when we go back and look at the data, Trump ain't just, it wasn't just an agenda just to fire these black people. There's been many white people who've been fired too since Trump has gotten into office, but it's really been about whether they've been a Democrat or a Republican. That's where he draws the line. He's just trying to. What you got, KT?
I'm saying that's basically what it boiled down to. It all the guys he pretty much fired was the people who was against him. So it was you know, the media highlights the black firings, which was bad. He fired the chief of security. Let me make sure I don't want to lie on nobody. I don't want to lie. I got it right here. But he got rid of the National Labor Relationship Board guy, the Reserve Library of Congress, and some other guys. And he removed a black Senate appointees. And he said President Trump consistent messaging criticizing diversity and inclusion is clear and demonstrable emphasis. So he pretty much, everybody he fired was against him. They didn't support him, so he just got him out the way. So it's that simple. So it was a lot of white folks, a lot of black folks got fired too. So, but the media the media likes to highlight the black firings. To try to, they got to play games, man. They play games. They playing games. So he fired more white women and white men, but I guess it's not that many black people at the top anyway, so it is kind of crazy. Now that I'm thinking about it, but Trump, if you ain't on the side, you got to go. That's how he run his thing like a mob, man. He's the first presidential mob. He run his whole campaign like a mob. You're against him, you got to go. That's how he works.
So where do you draw the line? From what I remember, I know I don't think you voted. But
I didn't vote. I passed up this year. I should have voted for Kamala. I regret not doing it, but my one vote wasn't enough to flip it. But I feel like, man, I wish people knew that Trump's whole end game was to get back in second time and do what he got to do. He getting done, man. He getting buildings built in Miami, trying to get the tallest building built in Florida and Miami. He got a highway in West Palm Beach. He got an airport now. His sons-in-law overseas getting business deals. They getting everything in place, so when they leave, they're gonna be an empire. And like I said, when he got on that thing, say he don't care about the American people struggling. He care about Iran not having nukes. That's all I needed to know.
Man. Oh, Hollywood.
Yes, sir.
I'll add to that.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I just want to say this real quick. One thing about Trump, like he and I voted. I'm a proud Trump. I'm gonna stand in the paint. and say that, you know, I feel like Trump's worst day, Kamala, she couldn't have her best day. So it's either whatever or whatever. Either we're gonna just keep getting flooded with more migrants and illegals while they have us vote Democrat. But one thing all of us can say about Trump is he giving his people reparations. When we asked Obama for it, we got all these excuses. We asked all these Democrats we've been voting for years and years, but all they wanted was us to just vote for them. They never wanted to give us tangibles or anything. Man, we at the bottom. The Black American foundational race, we at the bottom. Everybody race doing better than us. Then they giving illegals. Joe Biden, $5,000 food stamp card. You putting them up in houses in our community. You gave them grandma house. You giving them businesses. We don't own no black businesses in the black community, but you got Pedro who snuck over here. He got a big F-150 with the big tires on it. He owns a construction company. He got a landscaping company, and he got his wife and his children in the house. No child support. Look at them. And boy, look at him. And they helped him get it. So they tell us black folks, Kamala, I ain't gonna just do nothing for our old black. I'm everybody president. Obama, his coward self said that too. And I'm angry at him because I feel like he could have did something for us. And now look, bro, Trump giving all his white friends and everybody, he's setting them up because he know that this is last term serving as president. I ain't mad at somebody who gonna do for their people and they say the heck with y'all. I'm gonna put this $1 billion of reparations for all the January 6 folks who went to jail, who did all this stuff, got in trouble. And you mean to tell us Roland Martin, all these Democrats, even his so-called lawyer, Mr. Amberland Chaser Crump, you can't go and sue government? And for black people, bad as fake we is, look at our black kids. This is why they killing themselves too. They can't even get no summer job. All these migrants got the McDonald's and the hospital dietary jobs. So what the black child supposed to do? Like, it's like none of these folks with positions, like they come up with every excuse not to help foundational black people. But they quick to have us, and then what they do is lie to black elderly people and black folks, and it makes you think, man, are we this stupid? They're trying to make you do things to vote to have migrants do better than you. They don't, and now look, so he gonna give them billions of dollars of taxpayers' money, while black folks, we got to get a research study. We got to keep voting. Vaccine Waters, the Black Du Caucus, all of them can leave, and man, because we sick of them. The NAACP, we tired of them. All these, man, they none of these folks, they all need to die off and get out of there. They are not doing anything but holding up spots, getting checks, and letting these illegals come in and get us out to pay. And so with that being said, I ain't mad at Trump because he showed us that he gonna do for his people. And why they giving us excuses, he getting his people money.
Now, let me pivot real fast while we're speaking on politics. Luke, Uncle Luke, to be specific, Uncle Luther Campbell running for Congress. At first, when I heard it, when I first heard him speak that this was going to be a reality, I thought it was a joke. I was kind of hoping it was a joke too, to be honest, because I don't knock anybody who transforms who they were to who they are. Because who am I to? Because I continue to strive to do the same thing, but I can't see an Uncle Luke type guy as our best formidable weapon to have a black politician out there. I'm pretty sure Mom Dukes don't know nothing about Uncle Luke, but Deke, I know you do, and KT, I'm sure you know about him as well. So I'm gonna throw that back at you too while we're speaking on politics. Is this our best? Because Luke is very outspoken, I give him that. But I just, this guy used to have DVDs. I remember when we was in high school, had the DVDs and the tape cassettes, these buck wild pool parties where most of our black women are disgracing themselves. And he made a brand off of that. You know, that was strictly what his whole brand was, aside from being able to speak and say outrageous things on record. You know, the Poison Clan wasn't saying nothing that was positive for our community. It was dance music that was really just a form of degrading ourselves. So I mean, as far as his route as an entrepreneur, I salute him. But as far as, you know, outside of what he was doing, it was all for himself. You know, yeah, they went to court. They went to court and beat it because Congress was in the government was using them as an example. You know, the type of music and the type of and their brand was very derogatory for our community. But at that time, the nation was looking at it as an attack on the nation, especially with them, NWA, that the era they came from. You know, that wasn't the time where America was conditioned to it like it is now. So maybe all that time, water under the bridge, maybe Luke can transform himself for certain people who are going to stand up and vote for him in Miami. My question is, you know, KT, would you vote for Luke?
Me, I probably would. I would. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor of Cali. So if he can do it, what harm can Luke do? And Arnold couldn't even speak good English. So that's how I look at it, man. Trump, the president, he said all that stuff in the locker room, called it locker room talk. He said he can take somebody out in the middle of New York and ain't nobody gonna arrest him. So, you know, why not, man? Why not? They gave Vince McMahon's wife the job of the Department of Education. She comes from the WWE. What they got to do with education? So, like I say, why not? He one of us. But technically he's not, but he is. But he's not because he's not African American, Jamaican, black. But that's neither here nor there. Why not give Luke a shot? What he gonna do? He can't do no worse than what's being done. That's my stance.
I hear you. Deke, you voting for Uncle Luke?
Yes, sir. You know it. Yes, sir. I definitely love. I think we need more heterosexual black men because our reputation is bad right now. Either, you know, and don't get me wrong, they're gonna say he a womanizer. And you know, y'all notice anytime a black man loves like a woman or he date younger women, it's everybody crucify him, even his own community. And I'm looking at everybody like, wow, you know, like they make even look at Papoose and Clarissa Shields. I'm just gonna use them for an example. You know, everybody talk about black love, regardless of him being married or not. But your favorite rapper had a baby, she married, and she had another guy's baby. And you know, it's so many hypocrites, and just the way that this community operates, people pick and choose and make things or certain people important. Now getting back on Luke, it's gonna be our community that beat him up the worst. Oh, he saw Doodoo Brown, this and that, all this stuff. But if he can angle that and just keep shooting to the top, because I'm gonna tell brothers, I'm gonna be honest, the heterosexual black man in this toxic world is the most hated, unloved male, and just nobody loves him. And bro, if I'm lying, bro, show me where I'm lying at, because I would love to. I mean, bro, I'm just looking at the treatment that we have, just that we get. You know, nobody really want to show love or anything. So I'm for Luke, bro, regardless of what he did in his past. I don't agree with the stuff he say, but I'm just gonna ride with him because I feel like we need a heterosexual black male in there. I am tired of zesty, dookie mouth, LGBT black men. They don't speak for us, bro. You got these guys, these undercover guys that live in Atlanta, talking about a whole black culture, and don't even, man, bro, we got nothing in common with y'all. You know, bro. So with that being said, we just need a black man who, regardless too, bro. And again, I don't agree with what he say, the stupid stuff he say, because he Bahamian. But we need an FDA Florida, a foundation of Black American man that love women, that's either married or something, but not no weirdo that's gonna be in one of these positions and put us first. And ain't gonna be scared and not let his wife run the show. Like, we don't need no more Michelle Obama relationships, bro. I'm tired of that too. Yeah, man. I
got you, brother. Well, I'm gonna flip back to this last graphic that was going back to this marriage situation before I let Mom Dukes go. Again, as you were just saying, referring to the gay influence. This is the same thing for what I'm seeing in the church. I think it's just counterproductive. It's counterproductive for us to try to change our situation when we still have these type of examples. A gay, married, liberal, feminist, progressive UCC bishop says that the Bible is problematic. We need a third testament in order for it to soften the blow of what God speaks to to that community. I have understood that even though that the Bible says that gay is an abomination, that is not the only one. So the Bible does speak of gay as an abomination, but it also does say that there's some other things that God detests. So I just think that we as we're trying to motivate and encourage our Black community in so many ways where there's detriment at, we got to stand on business. We got to stand on some type of principle, and the only principles I know that keeps us all in check is biblical principles. A marriage can't stand without it. Relationships between people, whether it be platonic or something more than that, those principles are based on how we're treating people, and we know that. So I just think that going full circle, that we're missing something. We're missing something that as you said before, Deke, that accountability is required. It's not something that we can do without. It's not as if we don't, we have nothing to stand on. Mom Dukes, I appreciate you sitting in with the fellas tonight. Is there anything that you got that's the icing on the cake that you think that you would be remiss if you didn't say?
Well, I've listened to everything that has been said, and I do want to piggyback off onto the topic that was discussed on the political arena. There's no perfect candidate. I mean, when we vote these people in and they say they're going to do this and they're going to do that, we're hoping that they stand on their word. But we all fall short. We all do. I mean, every one of us. You can look down at your own self and say to yourself, the things that you said you were going to do, you didn't do, and the things that you said you wasn't going to do, you did do. So, again, we have to look at it in that perspective as well. Don't get me wrong. We do want our CEO of America to lead with integrity and do the best that they can, but sometimes they don't. And that's why when we're talking about biblical now, I need to bring this part in. The Bible says to pray for our leaders and our governments, because they're human just like we are. And so that resonates with me, that when they do fall short, we should have the grace to be able to recognize that, hey, I need to continually pray for that person to do better, instead of just, throwing them up under the bus, because that's not going to change anything. Talking about them, degrading them, it's not going to change anything. All it does is really put us more in a negative mode. But if we start praying for them, like the Bible says, you know, then we're doing the right thing. Doesn't necessarily mean that our prayers is going to just make them turn around that instantly. But again, if you believe in prayers, you're hoping that your prayers will prevail. And so that's what it's all about, because we live in an imperfect world. We live in a broken world. There's nothing perfect about this world. And we deal with humans all over the place. We cannot get away from humans. We're humans. We're in the human pool, you know. So and that is just what I want to say about that, you know, that again, be mindful of that, that when these people that are in office that are not, you know, stepping up to the plate that they said they was going to do, you know, again, we're going to have that to happen. That's just life, period. And secondly, on the factor of the marriage, you know, it's all about love. People forgetting about love. I'm sorry. I just have to bring that to a point of, do you love like God says to love? Because if we did, we wouldn't be so scrutinizing every situation when it comes to gay, whether it comes to all the other topics. So right now, my brain is not functioning to call them all out. But the fact is that, you know, we have to learn how to love everybody. We may not like everybody, but we have to have the capacity to love everybody. And I love gay. I don't like the act, but I love the person. The Bible says to love the person, not the act. So sometimes we tend to want to crucify the person because of the act they did. And that's not the right mindset, to be honest, you know. And so we have to look at ourselves in that perspective, that we're so busy, you know, saying, ooh, you know, that's awful. You know, how can they do this? How can they do that? Well, once upon a time, I did things that I wish I could erase, but it happened. So, you know, you have to look at your own self, look in the mirror, as Michael Jackson said, the man in the mirror. You know, there's always a side of us that we don't always do the right thing. So when we have that kind of, you know, being objective to that, we can be able to give grace to other people. So I'm not sure I'm not sure all the questions, everything.
I was trying to let you ride it out, because I know that bedtime is calling.
Yeah, you know, your mama is pushing 70, so I'm sleeping. But anyway, guys, I you know, I love hearing, and I'm sorry that a lot of the topics I didn't have no info on, because I wasn't, you know, I didn't come with any
I pulled you as a wild card. That's what happened. So, and I appreciate you coming to my aid and bringing substance.
I didn't bring anything.
You brought some substance. But
I appreciate the space. I do, and you know, it's all about learning, and you know, and these are good platforms to have, you know, so that we can be able to bounce off one another, because no one person have all the answers. But if we all come together and collaborate and be able to sit and really listen and to, you know, forge ahead, we would have a better world, you know. But we're really quick to scrutinize and to crucify, you know, really, when somebody's not doing something that they say they was going to do, you know, how dare them. But, you know, again, I have to reiterate, look at our own selves, you know, that will help us to be able to have a better perspective for the other person. And Trump, I'm a supporter of Trump. I don't support his mouth. I think he is a bit brass. He's not a Boy Scout by no means, but I like the things that he's doing. And I do feel like it correlates with the Bible. So, that to me, I support the Bible 100%. I am a believer of Jesus Christ, and I will not deny that at all. So I find that he does do the things that Kamala, I have nothing against her, but her policies, the things that she was promoting, I am not for. So that made me to choose sometimes you have to choose which is the worst, which is one of the worst. And so, again, Trump brought in some baggage, I'm not denying that. But his baggage to me didn't outweigh the baggage that Kamala Harris was bringing. So that's just me. So everybody has an opinion, and that's the thing too. We're all free agents. We have to choose to do what's right. If nobody has a gun to your head, nobody can't make you do something wrong or right. You have that right to choose. And so sometimes, when a person does something, I'm off track to what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get where you're going there. That we do got the ability to make a choice, and hopefully we're making the right choice. But nonetheless, we should be adults enough that we're in a nation that's supposed to have freedom of choice. So for good or bad, that I respect people's ability to make a choice, and many times I think that we're insensitive about that too. But I want to give a big applause to Mom Dukes. Everybody give her a salute on the way out. I appreciate it.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, guys, and thank you for indulging me. And
no problem.
And I respect your thoughts. I do, because they're your thoughts. I may have to agree with them, but I do respect them. And and that's how we grow. That's how we grow. And So anyway, again, thank you, and I'm getting ready to call it a night.
Shout out to Mom Duke.
Nice meeting you. Take care.
Yes. Good night now.
You too.
But fellas, the last thing that I felt that we didn't really get into was just the level of where we allow ourselves to be exploited. We've seen that on many capacities in many institutions of sports, of the music industry, prison population. There's many ways that we've given over our authority to in ways that now we're seeing that is not equal treatment. I think KT, you got your perspective in that. I mean, do you agree or disagree that a lot of these professional players are being exploited? They might be getting a big payday, but are they really being appreciated and respected? It's hard to not say that when they're getting hundreds of millions of dollars, but compared to the white counterparts, they're making that money too. So, what do you think on that, brother?
Yeah, my stance is this, man. It's quite simple. Believe it or not, we all been exploited. If you ain't got your own business, if we all doing, but I know you. It's just that simple, bro. They just doing it at a high level. Like LeBron, yeah, he been exploited. But in 1800s, they were doing that stuff for free. So, I guess the end goal got to be to get in the game, let what you can, and get your own business. And we all get exploited, man. We've been working in these factories and all these things, and all that stuff benefiting them. We just get enough just to live, And that's just my opinion on it, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, shout out to Dennis Moore. He said sometimes it's good against evil, and if you're a Christian, there's no way in the world you can be a Democrat. Same-sex marriages, open borders, the flood, open borders, the flood, the poor community. Appreciate you locking in with us, Dennis. And what do you got to say to that, brother? KT.
Well, the Republicans ain't making it illegal again, so you know. I mean, I respect it, you know. I mean, he's not wrong, but I think the other party ain't trying to stop it either. They say they are, but they're not doing. You know, they're not doing a good job.
I mean, well, again, the black exploitation side, you know, I just feel like, you know, we diminish our power by putting ourselves in positions, like you say, if we're not a business owner, then, you know, but don't complain about, you know, I'm not complaining about, you know, somebody who's being a little bit more ambitious than me. I'm not mad about that because we should have a level playing field to go out there and accomplish the same thing if we're doing the same thing. We should be able to get the same thing if we're doing the same thing. Yeah. But oftentimes it's a facade. You know, for many years we know that the NFL thought that black players were incompetent, couldn't be quarterbacks. Now you can't see a team that don't have one. That's true. But yet now we're fighting for coaching now to be in those offices and in them rooms that are doing this collective bargaining and open up the doors for the boys club, so to speak. Because you can't buy no team unless the other owners allow you to get into that circle. That's crazy to me.
True. That is true. That is true.
That's just another way just to keep the exploitation going on. Because no matter how much money you want to throw in it, they're telling you that. But that's not the case though, because I mean the Jerry Joneses and all these other guys, that the bus families and all them, there's no way that they got ownership of these teams other than just because they had the money to throw at it. But you know, we're not given that same opportunity. But we're the faces of that.
No, we're not.
And so we got to do something about that, man. I don't know all the answers. I ain't gonna get super long-winded in it because we're about 2 hours and 45 minutes into it. And I appreciate all those that are locking in with us. Shout out to everybody that's watching us on Facebook, YouTube, but it just goes to show it's a relevant topic, man. We done been from A to Z with it, but I think that provoking this conversation, shout out to Deacon WEEZO tapping in with us on the phone. He gave some excellent perspective, so definitely want to salute you, brother. But yeah, we got to find different ways to stop being exploited. I took that very personal in our years of working together in the city, and I'm better for it. You know, that's been my level of peace, is to break free from that, from somebody telling me how I can come and go, telling me how much I can make, so I don't feel exploited anymore. But I'd be damned if I didn't feel that when I was working for the city. I definitely felt exploited.
Oh, for sure. That's how it went. That was how it went back then.
But what do we have left on the table that we might not have really spoke on, man? I said we didn't really speak on black on black. I mean, right now we've been using this forum to speak on some negatives and positives, but thankfully, you know, we're able to do that in a positive way. Nobody got out of character. Everybody don't have to agree, but we do need to be able to respect each other. And I see that taken for granted very too often. So I pride myself in being able to have a conversation without emotions, without disrespect, without judgment. But, you know, just because I say what I feel doesn't mean that that it's supposed to minimize somebody else's feelings. You're an adult, you're doing your own thing. So you should have the ability to feel how you want to do. But my space is and my strength is about as far as I can reach. And I live my life that way. If it's beyond my reach, then I don't insert myself in that. I don't try to use those superpowers, knowing that it don't work in those ways.
Yeah.
So staying in our lane is key. I think again, you know, we're gonna open up a little bit more on this conversation in the upcoming episode, but as of now, man, it's been great, brother. We've been out the loop for a minute, but shout out to the guests that came through. Shout out to Mom Dukes. Shout out to Forever. It's been forever, since Forever been on here, so we shout out and salute him. Shout out to Deacon WEEZO. Shout out to my partner KT Crew.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, man. Peace.
Yes, sir. And one last thing before I get out of here, man. You know, I'm trying my best to keep these conversations, you know, to where we're speaking on things of change. It's not always about black or white, and I don't look at it like that. But many times we don't even acknowledge that is still something, whether it's in the church, whether it's in a place of profession. We can't just not acknowledge things that's happened in the past. As I shared before, Amendment 2 in the Alabama in 2000 was to eliminate not having interracial marriage anymore. Yet it wasn't practiced, and yet this is in 2000 when I moved to Alabama at that time. Coming from Florida, I wasn't used to that. But yet here I am, 45. And there's many people that ain't even aware that happened in 2000. That was 25 years ago. It ain't that long ago. So it does shape how a lot of people move. It does shape how a lot of relationships differ because two people are living on the different side of the tracks. And I got great friends. I got friends that I also treat like family. And it ain't a race thing because I got them all shades, all colors. But nonetheless, we can still have conversations and we can talk about issues and dilemmas on both sides. And I learned something, and I also am able to be empathetic to something that doesn't normally happen in my everyday life. And I reflect on things that also show those sensitive areas. And I'm very appreciative of my circle. It's small, but it's collected of people who are just genuine people, and that's important. So for all my people out there, man, that's been locking in with me, I appreciate you. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the comments. And anytime that we on here live, if you want to hit us up, it's 256-405. 9050 and we as you know, the strategizednetwork.com on Facebook, YouTube. Lock in with us, man. Loving to do interviews. Got some good interviews coming up. So you know, talking to people from all walks of life. And that's my one of my biggest enjoyments is to be able to connect with people, and that's what I'm gonna continue to do. And so till next time, you already know it's the Hollywood Red Show. Mr. A, aka Mr. Hollywood. I'm saluting y'all. I'm out of here, baby. Peace.
You're tuned in to the one like the Strategize Network, TSN.
We strategizing today. Welcome to the network. This that Hollywood Red Show. You know it. This that Hollywood Red Show. What you doing? Tune in. Where you going? Tune in. Hey. This that Hollywood Red Show. This that